So that was a little 3 minute video that I had cut off or whatever. So I'm gonna just do that again because, like I said, I'm not too sure how many uploads I have for the day, and I don't want to just use it unnecessarily. So what I was sitting there saying was, so you have Carol Small, my karmic aunt from my dad's side, who she's a notary public and constable in Massachusetts. So she's rubbing elbows, shaking hands, greasing palms, and all that. I had a karmic friend. She used to be my best friend, Chantel Widener. And again, disclaimer, I'm able to mention names, places, and things because I'm in the Truman Show 2.0. I am Queen Isis reincarnated. Yes, reincarnation really it is real. I'm the paradox. Hey, Ethiopian Bible, ancient Egyptian bloodline, royal bloodline. Hello. It was King Osiris that they sacrificed back then, and now it's me that they're trying to sacrifice, but it's not happening. Unbeknownst to me, my house is wiretapped and surveillance illegally. My landlords, Akeem and Ahmad from Boston. Well, they're from Africa. Well, Akeem's from Africa, but they live in Boston. Or no, Akeem's from Philadelphia, but he is African. It doesn't matter. He went to Holy Cross College in Boston. Um, he signed on with my karmic familiar unit. I'm sure he has connections to my karmic cousin David Small, who is a banker. And I only say that one, well, a couple of reasons. Carol is good with the landlord. She be scamming. David is in the banking industry. Akeem is in the same industry with Wells Fargo, and he has properties all throughout the states or whatever. In all states, he is actually certified to have properties and do banking and all that. You know, once you sign off with the devil and stuff, they start giving you all these riches and all this type of stuff. So anyway, so excuse me, excuse me, big ass confirmation. So they all signed a deal with Carol, my karmic familiar unit, the Smalls, the Perkins, the Williams of Boston, Massachusetts, and they decide that they want to like put me on a conservatorship. They want to hide me and hold me against my will, strip me from everything, all my resources. I have no vehicle, I have no income. Again, that's not an excuse, but I tried to do a YouTube channel before and they shadow banned me because they have connections even at YouTube with people behind the scenes. So, you know, that just lets you know at the great lengths that people will go to. And, you know, I'm just bringing awareness to the corruption and to get us back to the basics, back to, you know, homeschooling your children, holistic healing, um, healthy relationships, healthy lifestyles, however that may be to you. But this dysfunction and the toxicity, we're no longer dealing with that. Thank you, Betty. All done? Thank you.
I get onion cereal.
You want more cereal?
Yeah.
Okay, give mommy 1 second. Let me just do this video, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So, you know, I didn't realize all of this until literally this year, 2025. And it wasn't until about June, July of this year, 2025, that I really realized, oh shit, like what was going on. Give me 1 second. So now they're projecting chaos magic to my household because I am exposing them. And this has been something that's been going on too. My son, yes, he has a developmental delay because when I was 7 to 8 months pregnant with him, Carol Small, LeVar Fernandez, and Marcus Barty at the is it Mount Hope Cemetery in Boston, but where my dad's gravesite, Marcus got mad at my other brother who lives in Texas. He lives in Texas, and my dad at this point had been gone for maybe a year or 2 or 3 years, because I'm the youngest of four and I'm the only girl. I'm 10 and 11 years apart from the older three boys. And my dad didn't play about me, you know. Yes, he could have been a better dad, but I'm daddy's girl, you know. Um, and so Marcus got mad that our brother in Texas didn't come every single year to pay respects to my father's gravesite. And everybody knows I don't play about my dad. You can't even sit there and say my dad's ugly because he's not. Like, I don't play about you. If you're a daddy's girl, you know, like, I'm 4:44 on the time. I'm stepping for mine. And so I sat there and I was like, that's unrealistic, and he doesn't need to. And even if he lived in Rhode Island, literally the bordering state, he could have been in Maine. He doesn't need to come. Everybody grieves different. Just because we come all the time doesn't mean that he has to come. 5:05 on the timer. So, um, as I'm walking away, Marcus goes and snatches my backpack and starts swinging on me. So Kins sits there and comes out the car and starts swinging on Marcus. Now we're both swinging. These kids are bisexual and they don't discriminate. They hit nigga and they hit bitches and they hit young, old, white, black. I don't care. Not saying that that's how I get down, but if I need to defend mine, I don't care who you are. If you're coming for me physically, I'm gonna protect myself in any which way I have to. Blood or no blood, whether related or not, or we drawing blood or not, I don't care. I'm gonna fight for mine. Like I'm one of those. I'm gonna save myself before I save you. If you're coming at me, make it make sense. So now Kins and I are going at Marcus. Marcus snatched my bag, swung on me, 7 to 8 months pregnant. Kins comes out the car flying, starts swinging on Marcus. Then here comes LeVar swinging on both of us because that's his brother. Okay, cool, fine, whatever. But I'm pregnant. Give me 1 second. See, so what's going on is they're trying to energy harvest off of me. I didn't realize that I'm literally like the world's battery pack. I didn't realize that. So it's crazy, but I can't wait to shut down my auric field and all that, cloak my energy. So I think Boo Boo already cloaked my energy. Neither here nor there. So anyway, then LeVar now jumps in because Marcus is his brother or whatever. We ride together all of a sudden, and he starts fighting both myself, 7 to 8 months pregnant, and Kins. And then here's Carol Small, the notary public and the constable, sitting there in the chair with her Popeye's chicken, like, mm-hmm. And that's why John only has sons. You're not allowed to come to this grave site anymore. Mm-hmm. Don't you ever come back here. Bitch, you don't own the property. Now, the only reason why I don't go to my dad's gravesite is because it's been 13 years. It was just 13 years on the 15th, October 15th. When you go to my dad's gravesite, it still looks like we literally just buried him. Like you see the outline of them digging up the thing and all that. But they play in necromancy, which is trying to bring back the dead and stuff. And if you know, you know. Like these people are into dark occult practices. So now it makes me think Ashley, Carol's daughter, who she's older than me, she's almost 40, her father, Marvin, got tied to the train tracks in Boston, I think, back in the 80s. Because I think Ashley wasn't born or she was born. And she was born in 86 or 87. How old am I? I'm 32. She's 37. So whatever year that is. Or whatever. Oh, no. Yeah. Would that be 88 then? Three, take away the two. Yeah, because whatever. I believe that's 88. But anyway, so it makes me think with Carol, because with these governments and schooling and astrologists and so on. If you know history, matter of fact, hold on. I had to go get this book. I picked this up like 6 years ago from Five Below. Not a sponsor either, but it's The Book of Practical Witchcraft, a compendium of spells, rituals, and occult knowledge. And when you open it, on the 8th page, a brief history of witchcraft. Sorry, a brief history of witchcraft. I'm just gonna go right here because it talks about like the Celts, the Druids, and paganism. But I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm about to just go right here to this section, the old way, the old ways versus Christianity. As the Roman Empire expanded and brought its own rituals and beliefs, the number of druids dwindled. And with the birth of Christianity, old gods were banished and the new religion imposed. However, the old rituals, beliefs, and traditions continue to be handed down from generation to generation. Pagans practicing these traditions in defiance of the church risk persecution and death. And then if you know about Star Whackers, that's the gentleman, the celebrity, and his wife who fled to Canada because the government was trying to come at them. And then if you know like the witch hunt, the Salem witch hunts and stuff like that. Now I'm going to go down here, right here, to the Inquisition in witch hunts. It says in 1484, Pope, well, you know what? Forget that. Thousands were accused of witchcraft all over Europe and later in European colonies in the New World. Torture was often used to force a confession out of an innocent person, and in almost every case, the accused confessed and was sentenced to death. Fortunately, with the emergence of scientific, rational thought in 18th century Europe, witchcraft was perceived as little more than superstition. Eventually, witch hunts came to an end and witchcraft ceased to be a crime. So that's basically what's going on because I'm Queen Isis reincarnated. So I say all that to say. So you have Carol, who, even if she wasn't the Eastern Star at the time, she already signed her soul over. And I'm not saying everybody who, links up with these organizations are corrupt. But at a certain point, you work the chains, to get a higher status. There's certain things that need to happen or whatever. And for the alcohol, I don't discredit her for the accolades that she does have under her belt, but I do discredit and I do judge that you could have used your badge for good and reap so much more benefits, but you did it for bad, thinking that it was going to be like that for the rest of your life. But I'm the only one. Jalisa means God's promise of God. Google it. My mom didn't even know that. Google it. And I am the one who's going to speak up. I am John Horace Small Jr.'s daughter who's going to speak out. My father always spoke out about Carol and the injustice that she did to people in the family. And everybody knows that. So it was so sad, but it is what it is, that people in my family who knew how my father got down, he didn't play about that. Listen, I was between the ages of 7 and 9. So this woman brought me to a ritual. They did things to my body. I was sedated. So I can't tell you what happened. I just know I fell asleep at Carol's house at 97 Hazelton Street in Boston, Massachusetts. And I woke up in Randolph at Ida's house on her couch. And my mom didn't even know where I was. I can't tell you what happened that night. But reading tarot and all that, I'm like, uh. But she was also trying to put me in a thong. And my father and my mother were like, would you let Ashley, your daughter, who's 5 years older than me, would you let her do it? And she said no. So they were like, why are you trying to corrupt my daughter? David, he tried to corrupt my brother or whatever. And he told me that on the phone a few years ago, how I tried to corrupt John. Why is everybody trying to corrupt each other? Why? Every dog has its days. And hey, David, your Russian friend, all of us were being surveillance. So whatever money laundering that everybody was trying to do and everybody's trying to wash their money. Hey, Chantel, especially your brother, Sean Montero. You thought the feds weren't watching you and you transporting your drugs and stuff and you dealing with little Dirk? And I'm trying to figure out what light skinned Keisha has to do with anything. See, Ashley was a flight attendant for American Airlines. And she's a pretty female, dirty soul though. Dirty spirit. Evil. So everybody thinks that their looks and their connections was going to get them far in life. Messing with my children's education, reaching out to. Now, listen to this. My kids were perfectly fine in April of last school year to go to school in Taunton. My children are special needs. My children are special needs. Especially my son, because like I said, 7 to 8 months pregnant, and they physically fought me at the cemetery. And then get this, I went to Brockton Hospital and they wouldn't even see me. I was sitting in the waiting room for 4 hours and I kept going to them like, I'm pregnant. But it's because Carol has connections, Notary Public Constable, and she had called them and told them, don't see her. It's sick. It's sick. My daughter's been violated, I was violated, and my son was violated. Carol is a molester. Dana is a molester. You got cousins in the family, Terrence, aka Bleak, and Keisha, who are having sex with each other, a whole bunch of incest going on. Or, oh, let's talk about Carrie, Ida's oldest daughter, and how Carol went around to everybody in the family sitting there saying that Carrie's husband, boyfriend, Aaron, is a pedophile. and his photos up in the Boston Police Department lobby. 15 on the timer.